Hey YouTube, Sam here. Well, hopefully you just watched my video on pulling this thing out. Now we're going to go ahead and also the disassembly. But now we're going to go ahead and clean it. So this whole video is going to be basically how-to on what I'm doing to clean this carburetor up. I think I have pretty much everything done that I need to do. Since we are replacing this as well, I'm going to get a hold of it and try and pull it off without poking myself in the fingers, breaking anything. I really don't care if this breaks, but well, I have it. These are just cheap little picks that I got from Harbor Freight a long time ago, but they seem to work for the most part. So there's that. I'm going to put that to the side. I'm also going to put the one over here to the side. May actually hold on to those because they don't really look all that bad. I'm also going to peel the one out of here. This one actually does look pretty flat, so but you know, you never know. I'll probably this got kind of a goop on it there. Pull these to the side. Yeah, this probably won't ever go back on, but I'll still hold on to it. You never know. It wasn't leaking before, so I probably could have got away with reusing them, but they were fairly cheap, and since there's only a couple things you can replace on this thing, I decided to go for it. And in that kit of tools, they had one where you could just buy these, and then one where it was, you know, an extra 10 cents to get these. I don't know how much more. It was a couple bucks at the most. So I think I paid less than $10 for the whole thing. It was like 8 something for both these things. And I'm hoping that these will work. At the very least, they'll work for going down in these kind of places. But I'm hoping this tiny one, the smallest one on here, I'm hoping will go through this orifice of this, but we shall see. So, put the safety glasses on. I'm gonna with some carb cleaner for now. I'm gonna turn my fan on. This stuff you want to be in a well ventilated area, have a fan behind you, wear a respirator maybe. This is where I say you're dealing with chemicals. You need to deal with your own safety. You need to figure out how you feel safe about using it. I'm not responsible if you do something I do and you hurt yourself. So I'm going to take these little pieces and throw them down in there. Actually, that's not going to probably work as well as I hoped, so alright, so I filled the cap up here, and I'm just going to let those actually soak for a while in there. These really aren't that bad, so I'm going to set that to the side. Looks like for the most part they're pretty good. So now I'm going to take, and like I said, I believe I have everything I need already done here, so I'm going to go ahead and start spraying stuff down. I'm going to fill this up with carb cleaner. I'm actually going to let that soak like that for a while. I'm going to hose this whole thing down, and I'm going to clean out all the orifices with whatever corresponding brush I can clean out with. And I'm going to do that to every single orifice and clean this whole body up really good, spraying every hole, every place I can find. I'm going to spray the whole body of it and wipe it down really good. And then in the very end, I'm actually going to take the straw that comes with your carburetor can, and inside all these holes I'll give them a good shot. Inside all these holes I'll give them a good one last shot, and also go through all those. So right now I am just going to kind of fill this thing up with carb cleaner and let it kind of sit in on the butterfly area there a little bit. I'm going to do that front and back. There's another little hole here I'm going to fill up. Just kind of let it soak where it can soak a little bit. I'll flip this over, do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to do a bunch of cleaning on it. I've done most of the cleaning, kind of most of the holes and things like that, but I thought I'd show you a couple things. Something about like going into these orifices and things like that when you use your the tip for your carburetor cleaner. Stuff that down in there and then put a rag over it, kind of. And actually it's a good idea to kind of put a rag over, if I can do this on camera, kind of the whole thing or a good portion of it when doing that, because you never know, it can backflow through wherever you're shooting and spray up in your face, which you definitely want eye protection. That is one thing I strongly recommend. And then also it can shoot out of other orifices. You never know where something's going to shoot out of. So when you're going in and doing that, you know, give it a good spray, but cover it up. Something here. See how it kind of burst back? It also kind of filled up some other holes here, so it definitely it's going through to somewhere else as well. Since we have some extra carb cleaner in this bucket here, from just hosing this thing down, I know it's not the cleanest stuff, but it's still not bad. Especially if I'm just going to soak a bunch of dirty parts in it at some point. But I found this glass jar here, and I'm going to go ahead and keep what I can of this in here. And I'm going to keep the dirt that did come in there, I'll just leave it in the corner there some. And I'm going to go ahead and actually take these parts and dump them all in there and let them soak some more, put the lid on it. Now, if you do something like this, and I've done this before, but I didn't have any left. But you want to make sure you clearly mark your canister that it's carburetor cleaner, just so you know, and don't think it's something else. And then, if you don't have an air compressor, you're going to pretty much call it good. But since I do have an air compressor, I'm going to go through. All these holes and orifices, I'm going to blow them all out. Same thing I did with the carb cleaner, only with air. And I'm going to do that to the whole carb. I let these set, it's the next day now, but I let these set for a couple hours probably in here and took them out and let them dry out overnight. And then now I put them back in here and I'm just kind of getting them the last little bit of a shake in the carburetor cleaner here. This little doodad thingamajigger. And for now I'm going to look for the smallest one. And hopefully it'll fit down in the orifice here. I'm not sure. So I'm going to leave that one to the side for now, because the rest of these I'm pretty sure are pretty good. Make sure I got this. Well, I got my trusty Leatherman here, and the smallest drill bit I could find. It appears to be real close, if not dead on, the size of this hole. And I cannot, no matter what I do, get this to blow out. I've let it soak for a while, and it's just not coming clean. There's nothing I've done that's actually cleaned this thing out. So what I am going to do, because this is no good to me the way it is, I'm going to take a chance and try and get this drilled out here, hopefully by hand here, and we shall see what happens in the end. I'm going to go slow and do my best to not mess it up any more than it already is. I didn't actually have to drill all the way through, and it seems to be allowing something through here. I don't know. That's not going through there though, but that could just be that's just that small of an orifice. But it appears it is allowing some fluid through here. So hopefully, I know that drill bit's too big probably, but I didn't have to go all the way through. I just drilled out the little tip on the end here and a little bit on this end, and whatever it was seemed to break loose and come out, at least it appears anyway. So I'm going to go with it. If I have a problem, I'll have to probably replace this. This will probably more than likely be whatever my problem is. Hopefully I didn't mess it up. We shall see. That is part of doing it yourself. Sometimes you have to try out stuff to see if it works, and if it don't, then you got to fix it later. I hate doing it that way for the most part, but I also want to try and get this back on the road. It wasn't that hard getting to here. If I have to pull this apart, I have to pull this apart again. So I'll have a good video to show me how. Alright, it is time to start putting it back together, I believe, so stay tuned. Okay, well, hopefully you enjoyed that. I know there wasn't a lot involved in that. It was just cleaning it up, but it's just kind of part of the job, and it took a while to make the video, so we're going to call it good here. So go ahead, and the next one we will be putting it all back together and actually finishing this thing up. So keep an eye out for that video. Should be next week or very soon. So, alright, this is Sam, Jack of all, Master of none. You all have a good one.